In this video, we will show you how to shorten a metal zipper. So if you have a zipper and you want to make it a custom length that's shorter than the length you currently have, as long as it's a metal zipper, this video will cover everything you need to know. So whether you have a brass zipper, nickel zipper, aluminum zipper, etc., the step-by-step process is going to be the same for each. So let's get into how to do this and start with our supplies list. First, you'll need the zipper that you want to shorten. Second, you will need a pair of matching top stops that go with the zipper. So in this case, I have a number 10 brass metal zipper. So I want number 10 brass metal top stops. You never want to go lower on the top stops. So I wouldn't want to use, for example, number 8 top stops or number 5 top stops on this zipper, because the top stops are what prevent the slider from falling off the track. So you don't want to get smaller ones because they won't work on a large zipper. Another thing that I'm going to use is my tape measure. This is going to be to measure the final length of the zipper that I want to create. I'm also going to need a safety pin. Safety pin is what I'm going to use to designate or to mark the length that I want to shorten the zipper to. You don't need a safety pin. You can use chalk, or you can just use your fingers really to grab the point that you want to separate or that you want to shorten the zipper to. But I find that safety pin is super easy and you can reuse it on other zippers as you go. Next but not least, we need our zipper shortening tool. So for a metal zipper, you are actually going to pluck off the individual zipper teeth. So I like to use a tool like this where you can open it and then grab onto the teeth and pull. You can also use pliers or something similar to that, just something that's going to give you a good grasp on these individual zipper teeth to help you pull them off. Last but not least, or actually second to last but not least, I use a pair of gloves. I only use gloves to shorten metal zippers because you do need to hold the zipper in one hand as you pluck off the teeth on the other side, and using gloves prevents your hands from getting cut, or prevents blisters, that sort of thing. You can get away with maybe doing one zipper without wearing gloves, but I recommend it regardless. You'll see what I mean if you try to shorten a metal zipper and you don't wear gloves. And then last but not least, we've got a pair of shears right here. You can use regular scissors. This is just going to be, once we've shortened the zipper, this is going to be to cut off the excess. You can use regular scissors, but I prefer these. And you can see how the teeth look a little bit different right here. This prevents the top of the zipper from fraying when you cut off the final, when you cut off the excess once you're done with shortening this. Okay, so let's get started and mark how we'd like to shorten this zipper. So just for the sake of this, video, so really quickly, we're going to mark what length we want this zipper to be, because we're going to take some length off of the zipper itself. This zipper that I'm working with is a separating zipper, as you can see at the bottom. So this is a jacket zipper. So it comes apart completely in two pieces at the bottom. Why do you need to know that for purpose of this video? Well, it just shows how you're going to measure the length that you want. So for a separating zipper, the zipper is measured from the bottom of the pin and box component, which is right here, to the top of the top stop, which is right here. So this zipper, I believe, Let me just measure this out. This is a 20-inch zipper. So let's say we're going to make this a 15-inch zipper. So what I want to do is I want to measure from the bottom, and then I'm going to want to mark my spot right here at the 15-inch. At the 15-inch length. So like I said, I'm using a safety pin to mark the final length that I want, but you can really mark it however you want. Some people just hold their finger like this and hold it in place until they remove that first tooth. So you can really do whatever you want with that. Quickly, because this is a separating zipper, if we were working with a closed end zipper, like this one right here, you can see it has a bottom stop at the bottom, does not have a pin and box. It does not separate. This is more of like a pants zipper or something that you would see on other types of garments. If you were shortening this zipper, you would want to measure from the bottom of the bottom stop right here. So you do not want to measure from the bottom of the tape. You want to measure from the bottom of the bottom stop right here up until the top of the top stop. Never measure, or should I say, never take into account the zipper tape beyond a stopping point when it comes to measuring length of the zipper. Okay, so I've marked my spot. I want to move my slider down the zipper track, and I want to move it so it's underneath this shortening point that I've marked here. So if you look closely, if I just kind of move, this is why I like to use a safety pin as well. If I just make a straight line on my safety pin, you can see that this tooth right here that it hits, this is the tooth that I'm going to want to remove. Because as you saw at the beginning, the zipper's length is measured from the top of the top stop to the bottom of the pin and box components on the separating zipper. So this is the point where we are going to want to install our new top stop. Okay, so I have this tooth right here, and that's the one that I'm going to want to remove first. I'm going to put on my gloves. I only wear gloves on one hand because the hand that can get beaten up by shortening these metal zippers is going to be the hand that you hold the zipper chain with when you're shortening from the other side. So I'm holding this with my left hand. I want to remove this tooth right here. So I'm going to grab my zipper shortening tool, and then I'm going to want to remove this tooth right here. Okay, so quickly on the zipper shortening tool, you want to grab, so for a metal zipper, what you're basically doing is you're plucking off these individual zipper teeth. So you're pulling them from the tape. You don't want to damage the tape, obviously. You just want to remove the tooth. So what I do is I grab the very end. Let's see if we can see this here. I grab the very tip of the zipper tooth where you can kind of see that arrow where it's sort of going, it's going in the up direction. So I want to grab that. I do not want to grab this. This is going too far because you don't want to damage the zipper tape. I'm just going to grab the edge of the tooth, and then I hold this side firmly in place. So the side that you're not holding the zipper shortening tool with. And then I want to pull it off. So as you can see, I've removed that tooth. Okay, so we've already removed our first tooth, so you can just remove the safety pin there. And then what you want to do is remove about 1/2 inch to 1 inch beyond that of zipper teeth. So just kind of work your way. You can go up or down. I prefer to start up and then work my way down, but you can really do whatever you'd like. So you can see if I wasn't wearing gloves here, this could get a little bit painful because you're grabbing these metal teeth and you're holding them as you're kind of pulling them off from the other side. I can actually remove this tape measure as well, just to give us some more room. Okay, so I've got one side done, so you can see how it looks there with the teeth off. It looks pretty much exactly like it looks on the non-shortened portion beyond the top stop on the original zipper. All right, so let's pluck off these teeth. See if we're close. Okay, we want to remove 3 more teeth. You can see here I've made my spot right here because this is where I'm going to install the new top stop. So zipper teeth, when they come together, they go like this. So they kind of fit in between each other. And so since that's the case, you're always going to have one side that's higher than the other. So I've made my mark here, and this is where I want my first top stop to go. So on the other side, I want the other side to be lower. And I'll show you what that means. Okay. So this is what my zipper looks like. I have shortened the teeth, or I've plucked the teeth off, and I've shortened it to this new length. Now I'm going to grab my top stop. You can take off your gloves for this one. And okay, so on the first side that you are shortening, you can see that one side is higher than the other. So what this tells you is on the higher side, you are going to want to install the top stop as close as possible to this tooth without overlapping it. So I get my top stop in there. I just put it over the zipper cord, and then I'm going to want to crimp down. And then I want to crimp down horizontally from the other side. Okay, first top stop is installed. As you can see, it looks pretty similar to how it originally looked. So that's the first top stop. Okay, so now I'm going to want to come to the other side and install my other top stop, which I have right here. Okay, so this is why I talked about one side being higher than the other. As you can see, this tooth, the very top, is slightly higher than this tooth. What that's telling you is where to place the second top stop. So if I installed the top stop on this left side exactly like I did here, I would just put the top stop right up against the tooth like that. But when you zip up the zipper, this is how it's going to look. It's not going to be aligned. And I mean, you can do it this way if you want, but there's really no reason to, because you do want your zipper to look aligned at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it a little bit up because I'm going to install it with a small gap in between the last zipper tooth right here and my top stop. So you can see a little bit of cord is exposed there. I'm going to leave that gap to compensate for the fact that this tooth is lower than this tooth, so that when we zip it up, it's going to be aligned. Okay, let me install my top stop. Let me crimp it down on this side. Okay, and we are shortened here. Last thing to do, we're going to want to cut off this excess. So as I said before, you can use just regular scissors if you want. I do like to use these shears because it helps with fraying. And so you still want to leave about 1/2 inch to 1 inch off. So cut it off, and that's how it looks. Why don't you want to, I have had this question before, why don't we want to just cut it right here? Because you're leaving this exposed zipper tape for sewing. And then you're good. You are all set.